Wizards of the Kirin Tor, I am Arthas, first of the Lich King's Death Knights. I demand that you open your gates and surrender to the might of the Scourge.
Greetings, Prince Arthas. How fares your noble father?
Lord Antonidas, there's no need to be snide.
We've prepared for your coming, Arthas. My brethren and I have erected auras that will destroy any undead that pass through them.
Your petty magics will not stop me, Antonidas.
Pull your troops back, or we will be forced to unleash our full powers against you. Make your choice, Death Knight.
I sense that 3 separate wizards are maintaining these auras. If you find and kill them, the auras will disperse.
Ah, at last. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. I'll make sure you suffer. Now, Frostmourne, you will know endless torment. Frostmourne hungers.
You call? Indeed.
This is more like it. Ah, at last. Finally. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Research complete.
This is more like it. Ah, at last. Ah, at last. Finally.
The sleeper wakes.
Research complete.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last. This is more like it.
Research complete.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Research complete.
At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Our forces are under attack. Research complete.
Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Glory to the Scourge.
The Archmage has been killed. The first aura is dispersing. We've done away.
You'd best stay clear of me, or I'll turn you into a mindless sheep.
To arms!
At last. Finally. I wish only to serve.
Research complete.
My fate is sealed. I gladly obey. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it.
Upgrade complete.
Frostmourne hungers. I'll make sure you suffer. At last.
Research complete.
Is complete. Summoning is complete. Summoning is complete. Summoning is complete. This is more like it.
Taste this. Indeed. A fateful choice.
Research complete.
Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Upgrade complete.
This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Yes, I'm away.
Upgrade complete.
Now, Frostmourne. At last. At last. You will know endless torment. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. For the Lich King.
Is there something amiss?
Inventory is full.
I've been thinking.
Take your time. Look around.
Research
More gold
complete.
is required.
Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
The wizards keep many enchanted items within that vault. Shatter it, and we can turn our enemy's own weapons against them.
Finally.
That sounds logical.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. At last.
You call
Inventory is full.
a fateful choice. That sounds logical.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Research complete.
Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Finally.
My talents are yours. Is there something amiss?
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally.
Our forces are under attack.
Finally.
My talents are yours. Indeed.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
I've been thinking.
Ah, at last.
The second wizard has fallen. Only one cursed aura remains.
Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Finally. Faithless coward. Frostmourne hungers. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last.
That sounds logical.
Finally. This is more like it. Finally.
Stand and deliver. I'll check it out. Sure.
Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it.
You called?
Make your choice.
Should I mess someone up?
You called? I've been thinking.
Can I help you?
My talents are yours. A fateful choice.
This is more like it.
Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Finally. What you got? Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Your pain shall be legendary.
Ah, at last. Finally. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Proceed.
Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers.
Research
Finally.
complete.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
That sounds logical. A fateful choice.
Ah, at last. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it.
Inventory is
Ah,
full.
at last.
Is there something amiss?
Finally.
My talents are yours.
Frostmourne hungers.
Is there something amiss? You called?
Finally.
Our town is under attack. Research complete. Our forces are under
Ah,
attack.
at
I've been
last.
thinking.
Frostmourne hungers.
You called?
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Ah, at last. Ah, at last. Now, Frostmourne. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last.
Research complete.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Finally.
I've been thinking.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Smoky. Ah, at last. Finally.
Our forces are under attack.
Empty. Should I mess someone up? Frostmourne hungers. Ah, at last. This is more like it. Finally. This is more
My
like
talents
it.
are yours. Yes, run away.
At last.
Stand and deliver. I'll check it out.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Finally. At last. Frostmourne hungers. For the Lich King.
Should I mess someone up?
At
Is there
last.
something amiss?
This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
My talents are yours.
Proceed.
You called?
At last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
Our gold mine has collapsed.
At last. Finally.
It pains me to even look at you, Arthas.
I'll be happy to end your torment, old man. I told you that your magics could not stop me. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. Finally.
Stand and deliver.
This is more like it. Finally. At last. I'll make sure you suffer. Frostmourne hungers. Your pain shall be legendary. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. The spellbook is all yours, Lich. Let's take it and leave before the wizards amass for their final attack.
Indeed. I will begin summoning Lord Archimond at sunset.